Hey guys, Duncan here. If you could do me a solid, if you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit like and subscribe. It helps me to know that you guys like my videos, and I'll continue making them. And obviously leave a comment. I read all your comments and I'm going to try my best to respond to them. Alright, without further ado, what we've got here are two of my favorite CCW firearms. Before we start, they are both unloaded and empty. I checked it before the video. I will check it again during the video. Also mostly to show you guys how to do it. Right here we've got the Glock 43 single stack 9mm. Right here we've got the M&P Shield single stack 9mm. There's a lot of differences between these two firearms, but there's also a lot of similarities. I don't want to, go over all the specifics. Let's just be really honest here. No normal person is going to sit here with a tape measure and a scale and say, oh my god, this is 3 grams lighter than this, that's it, I'm going to buy the Shield. Or the Glock is a millimeter thinner, I'm going to buy the Glock. People want to know, generally speaking, which one is smaller. Generally speaking, what is the difference here? If you need crazy specifics, probably neither of these firearms are for you. Let's start with the Glock. The difference right away between the Glock and the M&P Shield is the magazine capacity. So that is up to you guys. I'm not going to tell you how many rounds you need to carry or what you feel safe having on your person. That is a very personal decision. Let's pick up the Glock. Slide is locked back. Magazine is still in it, but as you can see, the magazine is empty. I'm going to take the magazine out. So this is a single stack 9mm. This magazine holds 6 rounds. I do have a Taran Tactical base plate on here. Everybody thinks this is a +1. This is not. This is just simply a base plate. They make a base plate that is not a plus anything. It's considered a +0. It just adds a little bit more thickness so you get a little better grip with your pinky. They do make a +1. They do make a +2. I think they even make a +3. But you might need to change the spring out when you get to +3. The M&P Shield, again, this is also unloaded. The M&P Shield comes with 2 magazines. It comes with a 7-round magazine, and this, which it comes with from the factory, is an 8-round magazine. So right off the bat, you can tell the difference here. You've got 6 + 1 in the chamber on the Glock 43. You've got 7 + 1 in the chamber, or 8 + 1 in the chamber on the M&P Shield. That is a pretty significant difference, right? 6 rounds versus 8 rounds, 7 versus 9. But again, that is a personal decision as to what you like. If you're a Glock fanboy, and let's be honest, I pretty much am, you're going to like the Glock. If you're not a Glock fanboy, if you're indifferent, you may like the M&P Shield. What do I like? I will tell you the M&P Shield was my CCW for a very long time. I really do like the firearm. I don't particularly like the trigger. I don't like the trigger pull. I don't like the break. That's just me. I'm more used to and more comfortable with Glock. But I can tell you when I'm carrying the M&P Shield, I don't even know it's on me. I'm about 5'11", 220 pounds. I literally don't know that the Shield is on me half the time. The Glock, same thing, but for some reason, I don't know why, the M&P Shield just seems to fit me better. It might actually be the holster. In all fairness to the firearms, I really do like the Glock, so I'm not putting the Glock down. I'm just saying the Shield, I just don't even feel it. But let's get into the differences in size here. I'm just going to move these magazines out of the way a little bit. I hope you can see them on the screen. If we look at them, I'm going to violate all the safety rules here, and I'm going to point these firearms towards me so you can see the size comparison. However, as I have demonstrated, they are truly unloaded. So let's close the slide on each of these. And I want you to be able to see this on the camera. So I'm going to line them up, and you can see right away the firearms themselves are the exact same length. I mean, maybe there's a millimeter difference here, but for all intents and purposes, they are the same length. However, you can see empty with no magazines that the Shield is higher. It would print more or show more potentially than the Glock. And if you put the magazine, now this is the 8-round, so full disclosure, they do make a 7, which sits a little more flush. And this has the Taran Tactical base plate, but you can see right away there is a significant difference here. I'd say this is at least an inch difference. If you got rid of the Taran Tactical base plate and you had the stock one, you'd be a little bit shorter. If you got rid of the Shield's 8-round and you put the 7, you'd be a little bit shorter. but no matter how you look at it, the Glock definitely comes in a little bit smaller. Also on the trigger guard, the Glock is a little bit shorter. I'd say maybe half an inch shorter than the Shield. And I can tell you for me personally, when I fire the Glock, I have a little bit of a problem where my finger feels like it pinches between the trigger guard and the trigger itself. I don't have that problem with the Shield. Could be me, could be how I'm holding it. Again, I'm not as used to the Glock 43. It's relatively new to me. I've had the Shield for a long time. Let's kind of put it over here as well so you can see the difference. I know it's a little hard to see probably on the camera, and forgive me, I'm a one-man show here. I've got no one to zoom. But trust me when I tell you, the trigger guard is lower here on the Glock 43. It's a little bit higher here on the Shield. So all in, I would say width-wise, they're pretty equal. But height-wise here, definitely the 43 is smaller. Length-wise, they're pretty much equal. Trigger guards, 43 is smaller. Overall, all in, I would say the Glock 43 is the slightly smaller firearm, and I say slightly meaning half an inch here or there, but for all intents and purposes, for all us regular folks out there, they're pretty much the same size. So I would suggest going with the one that you are more comfortable with, whether that's the Smith & Wesson, maybe you're a fan of Smith & Wesson, you own the full-size M&P, or Glock, maybe you own the 17, the 19, the 26, or any of the other millions of models out there. Which do I carry now? I still carry the Shield. I still really like the M&P Shield. I technically do like the Glock better. I am a Glock fanboy, obviously, but I'm having a little trouble with that trigger. And unfortunately, right now, I can't get to the range. There is a massive ammo shortage for those of you that may not be aware. I am going to do a video on that. We're going to talk a little bit about it, so please tune in. So I hope this review has kind of helped you a little bit. Again, the difference between the Smith & Wesson M&P Shield and the Glock 43, very negligible, but the key takeaways are the Glock 43 is just a little bit smaller. It does hold less rounds, 6 rounds from the factory unless you put some type of base plate extender. The Shield holds 7 rounds in one of the factory magazines. It holds 8 rounds in the other factory magazine. Again, I'm sure you could probably put an extender on this as well. I'm not as familiar with that. The Glock, I definitely am, but I also don't really like modifying the magazines. I did put the Terran Tactical base plate here because I do like the grip. I'm just going to show you here. I can actually get my pinky on the grip with this Terran Tactical base plate. Without it, I cannot. My pinky just kind of floats around there. With the M&P Shield, absolutely no problem. To some ways, the grip actually feels a little bit better. My hand is a little big. And with this 8-round magazine, no issue at all getting my finger on the grip there, my pinky. The M&P Shield actually does feel a little bit heavier. I don't have a scale. I'm also really, I don't care about the weight difference. Again, it's very negligible. It's not like you're going to pick this up and it's going to be 5 pounds heavier than the Glock. We're talking probably ounces here, so it's negligible. But it does feel a little bit heavier than the Glock 43. I hope this review has kind of helped you guys to see a little bit of the differences here. Please ask me if you've got any questions. I will definitely do my best to answer. And like I said, please like and subscribe. It kind of helps me to know that you guys are watching these videos, you find them helpful. I read all the comments and I will do my best to answer. And I will have a couple more videos coming out, so please subscribe. Thank you.